Welcome to Notes from the Edge, guys. We are trying something new. I've got some new headset. We may or may not work with these. I don't know if they are my favorite. Let me get some more of our technical stuff taken care of. So, we're going to do a LinkedIn Live tonight. For who? For those of you who can't sleep. I love you. Those of you who can't sleep, I love you. I get it. You insomniacs. Maybe get you guys to bed before I don't know, 3 a.m. the witching hour. Anyway, guys, I'm your host, Lisa Lacey. Welcome to Notes from the Edge. This is the place we have the conversations we should have been having all along, the place where we talk about the things that we should be talking about but aren't. I'm a writer, a trauma educator, and an executive advisor, and I specialize in survival, identity, adaptation, reclamation, and resonance, which is kind of how I roll and work with people, whether it's helping them recover from mental health crisis or trauma or addiction. We treat it from the same angle in terms of looking at what identities may no longer be serving you. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. That's what we're here for tonight. You can throw a question in this chat and watch me riff on it. That would be super fun. If not, tonight's going to be a little bit different. This is one of our off-the-cuff shows, so we're just going to roll how we roll. If a guest comes in and posts a question, we will riff on that. So if you do have any questions, let me know. Put it in comments. I see comments coming through right now. Excellent. This is where we have conversations that don't fit into an interview. If you have questions, jump in as I'm talking. There's a lot that's been on my mind lately, and I think a lot of us are living in a strange time and space. I've been feeling weird. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling weird about next steps, and things feel like a little crazy right now. So it may be a little harder to find your balance. I was meditating on the word balance today. I like the word equilibrium better than balance because equilibrium kind of symbolizes stabilization, which destabilization or destabilizing is the opposite of. Not that there used to be a lot of people in a weird space, but it's like the whole globe is in between identities right now. We can't quite figure out who we're trying to be. So maybe you are in transition right now. I work with a lot of people in transition, whether it's from a career, whether it's from a relationship, whether it's from a marriage, whether it's you lost somebody that you love, you became an empty nester, you survived or are surviving invisible illness. Actually, that might be the topic we talk about tonight. It's coming up. If you're going through menopause, we can definitely talk about that. If you're an author, if you've started a new business, if you woke up one morning and decided, well, damn, this life doesn't fit me, this might be a good place for you to land too. Guys, I do work intuitively with people as well. If you are stuck, we can do some live coaching on here if you souls are brave. We're going to start doing that on here rather than on some of our other platforms. And just see how it goes, guys. This is all one big fat experiment, just like life is. Okay? So you wake up one morning and you're like, wow, this life kind of sucks and it doesn't fit me anymore. And nobody tells us what to do in that liminal space. We're taught how to achieve, we're taught how to survive, but nobody teaches us how to just be. And I think that's the hard part, because it's in the being that the answers will come. And friends, please let me know that you can hear me. Looks like I am doing okay on sound. I see my little green bars. So you guys must be able to hear me, which is cool. So maybe let's talk about reinvention and invisible illnesses tonight. Not the glamorous version, the lonely version. Reinvention is lonely. A lot of people aren't going to understand what the hell you're doing, why you're doing it. A lot of people are very comfortable in you staying exactly where you are and will do a lot to go to great lengths to keep you there. So we keep asking this question, and this question actually drives me a little nutty. Who am I becoming? And you're never going to be able to figure out who you're becoming unless you have determined who survival turned you into. Because you may look and decide that survival turned you into somebody, and that bracelet looks awesome on here, turned you into somebody that you may not like, or on the other end of that, somebody that you like a whole lot, which is awesome. It's really awesome to get to a place where you dig yourself as a human being. So, an identity crisis is actually a sign of growth, not failure. I think so many times we're shamed for that. You know, we break down, we struggle, and people expect us just to get up and keep going and be the people we were. We have near death experiences, we survive heart attacks, we survive pulmonary embolisms, we survive invisible illness. That's the fibromyalgia and the neuropathies and the chronic fatigue and the major depressive episodes and even anxiety. So the identity crisis is a sign of growth, not failure. But there's grief involved when it comes to grieving an older version of yourself or grieving the fact that you're not going to be who you used to be. I have little baby pants from when I was very, very thin, and they're probably not going to fit me anymore because during my tumor removal, my hips widened about 4 inches. So my hips are literally 4 inches wider. So yeah, I had to grieve that. And then I had to own my new shape and form in this physicalness. Not only in this physicalness, but in menopause, in the mental component too. There's definitely a mental component to going through menopause. And those of you who are in it know exactly what I'm talking about. So why do people resist our healing? Because they're gonna. If you make changes, if you rock the boat. There's a bunch of reasons for that, and we can't make assumptions about them because you know what assumptions do. But we can say that there is evidence that when you change, you hold up a mirror to other people and the work that they're not doing. So they may be avoiding you because they don't want to do the work. They see you doing the work and they don't want to do the work. And also, if they've been gaining from, whether it's financially or emotionally, or you doing everything for them, if they've been gaining things from your lack of boundaries, of course, they're not going to like them at first. They're just not. So that is something you will have to prepare for. Grieving your old self, coming into your new self, who you are now after survival, before the next chapter, and then being prepared for people not being thrilled about it. You're going to be excited about it because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change my life. But not everybody else is going to be on board with you about it. So reinvention is definitely not running away. Making a necessary pivot can be instrumental to making this next chapter in your story, in your life, one that you thoroughly enjoy. My friends, stop on by, say hi, let me know where you're coming in from. Post your questions in the comments section and watch me riff. If you have a topic that you want me to riff on, just put it in the comments. You don't have to say why. Just put it in the comments and we'll roll on it. All right, so trauma creates identities that may stop serving us. Not all the performances that you play today are ones that you need to change, because if they're working for you, work them. But for some of us, some of the identities we took on after adaptation, after survival, are no longer serving us. We may be repeating patterns. We had our beautiful guest, Ben Ufana, Ben Ufana today. And that's what we were talking about, was relationship patterns and why we repeat them and what happens. So, friends, put your questions and comments and I will riff on it. This is Off the Cuff. It's going to be a new section of our podcast. We've got Menopausal Midnight Meanderings. We've got Lessons for Lisa, Notes to My Future Self. That's kind of my blog journal. And then we've got Off the Cuff, where I let people come in and we just channel information that comes through. If you would like a channeled message, just put a question in the chat and I will riff on that happily. So, uncertainty is evidence that transformation is already happening. You know, observation is not neutral. So, the minute you observe in your life that it may not be somewhere you want it to be, it's already changing for you. I think we complicate this work. We make it really hard on ourselves. And acknowledgement is 75% of the work towards making conscious choices. Because here's the thing, you may have been on autopilot in survival mode, and now that you're taking all of this power back, or not that it went anywhere, but you're learning how powerful you actually are, right? That's what this is about. This is about learning how powerful you actually are. That you're made of stardust, that we're on a spinning ball of rock, fed by a flaming ball of fire. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So, uncertainty is evidence that you're on the right track. But get curious about that uncertainty instead of catastrophizing the future like you have been, or ruminating in the past in the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Get curious. Am I willing to get curious about where I'm headed next? And then go from there. Okay. We can talk about what I learned from almost dying again this year. Leaving a corporate career, launching a podcast, writing a memoir, rebuilding my life. Well, I didn't rebuild it this time. It's not like a start from scratch this time. It's a pivot, a necessary pivot, because I didn't want to leave this earth with these stories stuck inside of me, because I do believe they could help a lot of people. I do believe they could help a lot of people. So, friends, we're going to be hitting our 15-minute mark. I like to keep these solo ones a little short for you guys. We will turn this into a podcast for Notes from the Edge. Before I go, does anyone want any channeled information to come through? If not, I will channel a generalized message. I need pen and paper to do it for all of us here. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Time is not an illusion, and you have all of it at your fingertips. It's not what will you leave behind. It's what will you do with your time while you're here? And when it's time to reach the end of the journey, it's not going to be the house, the car, the toys that you will be thinking about. It's going to be your memories and your regrets that are on your mind. So start living now so that when you reach that moment, some of those regrets do not become the memories that you missed out on. And always ask yourself the question, what did I perform in order to survive? And how will my life change if it's no longer serving me? And I put down the mask, the role, the performance. I'm your host, Lisa Lacy, writer, trauma educator, executive advisor. Welcome to The Edge.